Welcome in. It is the Redhawks Coaches Show. We are at Wings Etc. in Cape Girardeau. And we invite you to stop by and join us if you have not seen their brand new banquet room. Man, it is terrific. If you're going in the front door at Wings, you certainly know where they're located. Just hang a right and curve around the corner, and you will see the banquet room for Wings, etc. We've got a nice crowd here, and we're going to be talking Redhawks football with SEMO football coach Tom Matukowicz. Cole Ruble, the former Seckman Jaguar, is in the house, and we'll talk to him coming up. Had a big 51-yard run in the win over North Alabama Saturday night. This is Wings Etc., where they've got their award-winning jumbo wings for dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. And, of course, they have an awesome menu that features their freshly made burger, their wrapped subs, quesadillas, entree salads. If you're in the mood for some appetizers, they have their massive ultimate nachos, their spicy deep-fried pickle spears, and pickle chips, along with their delicious pretzel bites. Their daily half-pound lunch specials start at just $9.99, and we encourage you to download the Wings Etc. loyalty app. It gives you an opportunity to earn points with all of your orders and have your orders delivered right through the app. Just download the Wings Etc. loyalty app and start earning rewards today. Let's welcome in the Redhawks head football coach, Tom Matukowicz. Man, this weather is terrific. Just like Saturday night, it feels like the same weather we had on Saturday.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. There's a lot of suffering usually goes on in September, August, but we've been very fortunate, even though it's going to tick up a little bit this week, getting the 90s towards the end of the week. So we need to enjoy it while we got it.
All right, what were your thoughts on, first of all, the atmosphere at Houck Stadium for the home opener? That is the fourth year in a row that you have won your home opener at Houck, and the tailgate was, you can't even move around. I know you saw what kind of a crowd the tailgate had with the Red Hawk Walk. Your thoughts on the atmosphere and the crowd on Saturday night?
Yeah, it was beyond expectation. Just very pleased. Love that we've gotten this thing to a place where people are really looking forward to SEMO football opening up at Houck. I think obviously this isn't factual, but I felt like it was our best student crowd. If you just look over there, normally, it's one section, and we've had some pretty good student crowds last year, but I felt like this was our best student crowd, so that's nice. The other piece of that is we talked to the team all week long about the standard that we need to play at home and make sure that we carry on that tradition. I really felt like the guys did that. One of our goals was to be the most excited to play. That team was coming off a loss. They're in their fourth year as a coaching staff, and I knew that they'd come in hot, ready to go. But I felt like our team was as excited or more so. And, it was a tough game, back and forth, lots of highs, lots of lows and all that stuff. But I felt like our team stayed together and we had good energy on the sideline and came out with a win.
I guess the only bad news was you had at least 3 injuries that we know about with Anthony Westerveld. They had to bring the medical cart onto the field. Jared Pedraza had to leave there in the fourth quarter, and McCoy Casey, who is one of your impact guys, and injuries that you did not suffer week one. You were pretty clean on week one. Unfortunately, guys who are starters suffered injuries on Saturday.
Yeah, all 3 of those are real impactful players, not just on the field, but from a leadership standpoint. And so if they are out significant time, and that's going to really challenge us, but it does provide an opportunity for some guys. Feel like we have some depth, but it'll certainly be another challenge this week added on top to a big challenge. And so we just got to focus on doing what we can to prepare the next guy up.
North Alabama is in that conference called the United Athletic Conference, third year where they combine the ASUN and the Western Athletic Conference, the WAC, although it's not the old WAC. I mean, the teams have shifted. So that's a football conference, and it's pretty salty up near the top. They play in a pretty good league.
Yeah, they do. It's good football. I really felt like North Alabama. It's a good job. The state has a lot of great football players in it. They have a lot of tradition. They've won multiple national championships in football. And
they won 3 in a row in the 90s. They're the only Division II team to ever win 3 straight national championships, and they've got a brand new stadium that they're moving into next year.
Yeah, and they've done a good job recruiting, and even from a year ago, I really felt like they've improved their recruiting. And so we knew it was going to be a challenge, and they made it one.
So it's interesting, the quarterback situation for them. It was Ari Patu that started the game. A guy, really smart guy, graduated from 3 years from Stanford, and you really forced them to make a quarterback change there. You really did a nice job with him. He did get a 1-yard touchdown run, and that was it for him. They brought in this Destin Wade, who is a really good athlete, big guy. He was Mr. Tennessee football in 6A, played at Kentucky, played last year for Deion Sanders at the University of Colorado. Yeah. And then this year he is playing against you at North Alabama. I mean, he was a talented dude, and he accounted really for anything that they did in the second half of the game.
Yeah, no question. He looked like he was the best player on the field a lot of times, and so we have to continue to get better with mobile quarterbacks. The last guy, number 1, was mobile, but they didn't really want to do that. So once they took him out, it was full-fledged, quarterback run, and so didn't handle it as well as we could have, and so that's an opportunity to get better. And I know the defensive staff's working hard on it now because kind of similar situation with North Dakota State. They have a big mobile guy, and they're going to see that film and obviously feel like they could do some stuff with it.
He's 6'3", 220, North Dakota State's quarterback, almost identical to the guy you saw on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. So we got to do a better job getting position, but when we're there, we also got to be able to make plays. Sometimes those bigger quarterbacks are hard to tackle.
So they win the first quarter. You win the game 30-21. They win the first quarter. They're up 7-0. Your defense made a statement early. They moved the ball down the field, but they missed the field goal. So a little early on in the football game, your defense feeling good about itself. It gave some yardage, but no points. Yeah,
it was kind of the bend but don't break. Way too many yards, but made them kick a field goal. They missed one. And then I think they were 1 of 4 on 4th downs, which are huge. That's like a turnover, to be able to stop somebody on 4th down's a big deal. And we did it 3 times. Was it 1 of 4? I can't remember. Something like that.
Yeah, 1 for 4.
And so you don't think about it, but that is a huge accomplishment, especially with a running team like we saw. To be able to stop them 3 times was huge.
So you shut them out over the next 2 quarters. In the meantime, you scored 23 straight points in the second and third quarters. You actually scored 30 consecutive points before they got a couple of fourth quarter touchdowns. Halftime, you're up 13-7. What are your thoughts in the locker room with the lead? You've rallied to take the lead because last year you beat them 37-15, but at halftime you were down by 2. Down in Alabama last year.
Yeah, no, I felt good. Really liked our 2-minute drive there. So we forced them to punt. They punted. We had a really nice return and tacked on a personal foul face mask on it. So the offense had the ball maybe on the 50-ish with like a minute 20-some and drove it down. Just operated really well. It got to the end. There was 8 seconds left. And when you feel like you have enough time, but also – you got lots of new pieces there, and so it's a little hairy. Hey, do I kick it now? Do we try to go for a score? So they executed it very well. Tried to, it was going to be a touchdown or incomplete, and so at least it was incomplete. We were able to kick that field goal, and so I think that just gave us some really good momentum for going into half.
Well, the guy that kicked the field goal, Justin Keller, he was just named the OVC Big South Special Teams Co-Player of the Week. It's 3 for 3 in field goals in the football game. That's a pretty nice home debut, including a 48-yard field goal. I know you liked him going into the season, and, man, he has looked really good here the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, it really has. Justin, just really appreciate who he is. He's a guy that's been around quite a bit, and so for him to stay with it, he was a soccer kid in high school, to stay with this, to realize a dream to kick in Division I football is impressive. Been raised well, just high character guy, works really, really hard. Had a rough week, to be honest with you. This week, missed a couple, and we were off. We added a field goal period to try to get it right. It didn't look great. So even on Friday, I was pretty concerned about it, but we had a good day Friday, and then they went to work. I think our special teams was the story. Like, we dominated them in special teams. We had several TFLs on kickoff. We had the opening second half kickoff return with Cole Ruble. They got it to the 50, and then we punted. I think we had 2 punts inside of 10. So when you go through all of that, really every single special team was good, and we need those. We need to get our special teams going. And so proud of the specialists, but also those other guys fighting for them.
You ever had Ryan Kingston is your punter, the transfer from Eastern Michigan? You ever had a 6-foot, 6-inch punter? He averaged 45 yards per punt. You will take that every single game with a long of 55. And as you mentioned, he dropped 2 inside the 20-yard line.
Yeah, had a really solid day. He's a weapon. He's a young still. This is his first year starting, and so I think he could still dial it in. But he could do a lot of things. He's got great pop. He's got the length. But he's just a really mature competitor. He sold out to all the little things it takes to be a great punter. I'll tell you that the other unsung hero in all of our specialists is Judd Cunningham.
Long snapper.
So Judd was a linebacker, multiple different positions. He came to me and said, hey, I want to compete for the long snapping job. So we let him do it. He was a walk-on when he first got here, and then after spring he earned the starting job, earned a full scholarship. But more than anything is he's the leader of the specialist, because all those specialists are new, every one of them. So he's been able to kind of get everybody together, provide good, just constant leadership, and somebody that is just a great teammate. And you could tell all those guys are bought into being a great Redhawk.
Boy, when you talk about guys who are leaders, over the course of your coaching career, how often are you bringing up the long snapper?
I hope not much. If you're talking a lot about the long snapper, you probably had a pretty bad season. But
in this case, you're talking about him.
Well, yeah, medias normally don't talk about him, but I'll never forget Judd Cunningham. Like, I'll be a fan. But first of all, I didn't like him. When I first met him, this may surprise you, but I'm kind of a judgmental guy.
That's shocking.
Yeah. So he had a tattoo on his thigh. I was like, hey, what? Well, I at that point in my life, I just really didn't felt like I knew a lot of people with men that had tattoos on their thighs. Like, hey, you want other people looking at your legs? What about like just the arm tattoos? You know what I mean? But it's a new world, and now that I've gotten to know him a little bit, he's everything I want in a son or a football player. He's just a great human being, selfless, going to be super successful in life. All the things.
So you've got a 6-foot 6-inch punter, and you've got a 6-foot 8-inch quarterback. And I did all the research now. The tallest quarterback ever in college at Division I was 6'9".
Oh, okay.
And the second tallest is Jax Leatherwood. There have been 2 other guys that were 6'8". We mentioned Dan McGuire, and there's a guy that played in the SWAC who was 6'8". That's it. That's the list of college guys at the Division I level who've ever been as big as him. So 6'8", 253. It's 2 games without a turnover. He ends up throwing for over 250 yards, or 225 in the game. It's 2 passing touchdowns. It's a rushing touchdown. And today, OVC Big South Offensive Player of the Week. Everybody wants to talk about quarterbacks. Give you an opportunity to talk about your quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I think I still feel the same as I've always felt. Big fan, love his makeup, love his skill sets, but I also know that there's still a lot of things that he's got to improve. We have 4 sacks, and they're not just on the O-line. They're part of the quarterback's play, too. If right now we're on pace to set a record getting sacked, and so I think when people see Jax, they're going to go, oh, okay, well, we're going to blitz him, right? And we need to have an answer for that, just because they don't think he's mobile, even though he is. It looks so different when you're that big. It doesn't look like you're that quick, but he's not bad. So we got to continue to learn how to win with him. We got to learn how to, put him in position to do what he does well. And the thing I'm most proud of on offense is we're still pretty balanced. When you look at our run pass, you look at how to defend us, you can't just say, hey, we're going to defend the pass, or hey, we're going to just, suck everybody up on the run. And so if we can continue to do that, which this week will be tough, but if we can, we'll be hard to defend.
You ran the ball more than you threw it in week 2, 39 rushes, 32 passes. That's very similar to what you did at Arkansas State week 1. Very balanced.
Yeah, no, that's the plan. Really, the only troubling thing about Saturday is we're in a 4-minute drill to end the game. Offensive line, tight ends doing a great job blocking, and we end up fumbling a 4-minute drive, which is just, I mean, blood was squirting out of my eyes when I was watching it on Sunday. It was just hard to watch. But I think it was just a good reminder that, it's going to take this team a couple games. It really is. I mean, when you look at everybody that's playing, they're either new or they're young. Even like Peyton Brown, you think, well, he only played like 4 games last year. And so all of these things are guys still have to learn. And you learn by playing. You learn how to do a 4-minute drive by doing 4-minute drives, making the mistakes, getting coached, taking it off the film so it doesn't happen again.
In terms of your running backs, Peyton Brown missed 5 weeks last year, 5 calendar weeks. Brandon Epton missed 9 calendar weeks. That translated into 7 games. So those guys are back and healthy. And I know Epton has a ton of experience that Peyton Brown does not have. But that's the thing. I mean, there were 5 weeks where Peyton Brown couldn't go. And, he tried to go coming back after the leg injury, but clearly he was a little compromised there. So that's one thing I guess people need to understand. Peyton Brown's still a young guy.
Still a young guy, still can build a lot of skill, but – probably the worst thing about the game is generally you improve from week 1 to week 2 the most. And if that's the case for us, I'm concerned because I don't think we improved as much as we could have. Right? And so that's a feeling you have. You watch the film and you think that's the case. Whether it is or not is a judgment call, but that's the challenge to the players. Like at the end of the day, some of those mistakes were on us. Why did they keep happening? And then what can we do about it? Because eventually, if we don't take it off the film, this isn't a championship team. Like, that's just the truth. But it's because of the things that we are doing. So are we not coaching them well enough? Are they not being coachable? Like, what is missing here? Because I wish I could have seen a little more improvement from week 1 to week 2. Some of the things we were talking about week 1 we're still talking about week 3, which is a concern we got.
So I wanted to ask you about the play that you ran for the touchdown pass to Andrew Sivvy. You've got a new offensive coordinator in John Holt. How about that offensive play? I thought the play was terrific, and I know they didn't see it on film.
Yeah. I mean, people look at Sivvy and they see him and they think, man, he can't do anything. But really, he's such a weapon that we design plays to get him the ball in the red zone. And that's a joke if people don't really know. But super happy for him. Scored a touchdown, and I think that's what a good offense can do is those play action passes, get guys out of the backfield, the hard to cover, those type of things. And it was just great to see him score a touchdown.
Also, you're bringing your running backs out of the backfield in the football game. I mean, and, sometimes those are tough to defend. I mean, there have been teams against you where they're running their guys out of the backfield, and, sometimes coverage can get a little discombobulated on that side of the ball. That can be a weapon. But it appears that Epton and Peyton Brown and Cole Ruble are guys that you trust in the passing game.
Yeah, for sure. All three have really good ball skills. And so I think that's what Jack's, that's kind of his best friend. He's going through his progression. When all that starts to break down and the pocket collapse, we get the ball one of them. Because at the end of the day, they still got to tackle them, because it's after the catches where those running backs are dangerous.
So it's another long run. We'll be talking to Cole Ruble here coming up in a few minutes. It was a 51-yard run for Ruble. Of course, he had the 65-yard touchdown run against Gardner-Webb last year, and I think it was in his career when he was at Seckman High School, I believe it was 14 times he had runs from scrimmage where, I want to make sure I get this right. This is great radio. Ran for 20 touchdowns of 40 or more yards. 20 times when he was in high school, he ran for touchdowns of over 40 yards. And I just told you about 2 at the Division I level that he's had. This is nothing new for him. I mean, I think when you look at his size, maybe you think, okay, this guy may not have a gear. He clearly has a gear.
Yeah, for sure. And his complexion doesn't help him. Everybody thinks he's white, so he can't run. But I tell you what makes him dangerous is when he's running, he can go sideways the same speed.
Is that rare?
So, yeah, pretty rare, so he doesn't slow down on his cuts. They're all real full-speed cuts, and that's what creates the big, long explosives.
So when you're recruiting him, obviously you're seeing that ability at the high school level, and in your mind, hey, I think that's going to translate, right?
Yeah, it was tough evaluating. They had a good team at Seckman, but they don't play a lot of great teams, and so you're trying to figure it out. He came to camp, all those type of things. But it was really everything. He was a state champion wrestler. His mother could be the director of football operations. She's a freaking 10.
She introduced herself to me, I think it was last year. I'm broadcasting a Jackson game against Seckman, and she came up, introduced herself, and talked to me. And
great people.
Yeah.
And then also, I think I even said this on the story, is what kind of teammate he is. The game I went to evaluate him, the whole student section sang him happy birthday. And I knew then that that's what kind of teammate is, because, selfish pricks don't get happy birthday songs. And sometimes, when you're the man, that you get there just naturally. And so he's just a great teammate. Even he's got his 3 roommates here today. So either they just got out of the bar and just got here, or they're supporting their teammates. So either way, that kind of tells you what kind of teammate he is.
All right, so we'll talk more about North Dakota State coming up in our final segment. But tell everybody about how this game came to be. I know they just played a game at Tennessee State. That was a 2-year contract. They had Tennessee State at their place last year. They returned the game. I think it's only the second time since 2012, I think, that they opened up with 2 road games. They went to they went to the Citadel and beat them 38-0, and then they they could have named the score against Tennessee State, a team that had a really good year last year. I don't know what they've got back. They lost Eddie George as their head coach, but it was 59-3. How did this game come about, and did they approach you? Is that something that you approached them? How did it work?
Yeah, we scheduled Arkansas State, and Arkansas State doesn't pay as much as like a Mizzou pays, and so we were looking to schedule another game. They had reached out to Brady about scheduling the game. They're paying us, I don't know what it is, maybe $250 to play this game. So this is the reason the administration wants to play it is because it helps pay all the bills, which we need. When he brought it up to me, you think through the process, and nothing's ever 100-0. Like there's pros and cons to everything, but ultimately, the reason I got on board with playing him is because this is really a life experience. I don't know how many games I've been in. It's been a bunch, and I will always remember playing the number one team in the nation at Fargo for their home opener. So were all these kids, and so the reason we're playing this game is because of the experience. Now, I think some of the benefits from this is we can learn. We can learn about ourselves. You learn a lot more about yourselves when you play really quality opponents because they're going to be good enough to expose our weaknesses. Our weaknesses are what they are. So the sooner we can find them, the sooner we can get to improving them, right? And so this is a challenge. The stat that's probably the most alarming is they're 38-1 at home against playoff teams. I'm not talking about their home record against any opponent. So if they're good enough to make the playoffs and they go to Fargo, there's been 38 teams that go and lose. There's only been one that's been able to beat them in the Dome. And so it's you got to beat them, a good football team, but you also have to be able to overcome the environment. And so this will be a real challenge. It feels like a playoff game for us. And so this will be a great experience. And at the end of the day, our mindset and focus is really important. What kind of confidence do we have? And understanding we don't have to change who we are. We just need to be the best version of ourselves. I'm still going to be talking about playing hard, playing physical, don't turn the ball over, got to run the ball, got to stop the run. The same stuff I was talking about for the last 30 years is the same things I'm going to be talking about this year, because if you do those things, we will be in a fourth quarter game. And if we're not, then they're good enough that this ain't get away from us.
All right, before we take a commercial break and bring Cole Ruble up here, I want to see if I can get you fired up a little bit. North Dakota State does not have the longest active winning streak in the country at FCS. They won their final 4 games, including the national championship game against Montana State, and they've won their first 2 games. That's a 6-game winning streak overall that they will have coming into that game. Do you know who's got the longest FCS winning streak in the country at 7 games, one more than North Dakota State?
No.
Tennessee Tech, Coach. Tennessee Tech has the longest winning streak in the nation, and they just steamrolled Chattanooga the other day. I mean, they scored 24 points in the first quarter in Cookeville. But I wanted to bring up Tennessee Tech because we found out last week, that, or 2 weeks ago, that you have circled, highlighted, and circled it again, the game with the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, that's a good thing about our profession. We're fixing on finding out how it goes.
All right, I had to get a Tennessee Tech drop in there after what you said last time.
Right.
All right, Cole Ruble is going to join us when we come back. It's the Coaches Show. We are at the home of the Coaches Show. It is Wings, Etc. We're in the Cape location. We'll be in Jackson next week. We'd like to extend you an invitation to join us there. Cole Ruble, the former Seckman Jaguar, going to join us when we come back. It is the Redhawks Coaches Show on SEMO ESPN. On Mondays at 12 noon during football season, we've got the Redhawks Coaches Show from Wings, Etc. We're in the Cape Girardeau location this week. We will be in Jackson next week, and we invite you to join us here at Wings, Etc. And if you can't make it, you can either carry out your order, you can call it in and carry out, or you can get it delivered, and you can use the Wings, Etc. loyalty app. You earn points for every order, and we love earning points to get free things or discounts on your food and beverage. Just download the Wings, Etc. loyalty app and start earning today. You can get it delivered, and their menu is very, very wide and far-ranging. They've got over 70 items that are not their award-winning jumbo wings, including their burger lineup, their wraps, salads, quesadillas, entree salads, and much, much more. It's the home of the Redhawks Coaches Show, Wings, Etc. Good food and great times. Let's welcome in Redhawks running back Cole Ruble to the program. How are things for you, Cole?
They're great. Thanks for having me.
So I mentioned that I met your mom last year, and I couldn't remember if it was 2 years ago or last year, but it was last year. Jackson played at Seckman. I was doing a little research on Seckman and who your rivals are. Now, is Windsor still around?
No, we don't play them very
Okay,
much.
all right. So it's up in that area, though. You're from Imperial, but Fox High School is there, and anybody that has driven up in the Arnold area has driven by Fox High School, their football stadium. Literally, you can see it from the interstate. And apparently, Seckman and Fox had their grudge match on Friday. How'd that go?
I think it ended in the overtime.
Who scored the game-winning touchdown?
That would be my brother, Chance Ruble.
You're not proud of that, are you?
Yeah, I am. I guess they can't get enough of us.
So, did he give you the story, or did your mom give you the story? Give us a recap of Seckman's big win over Fox.
Well, I think they were down the whole game until the second half, and then my brother said they scored 2 quick touchdowns and then ended in overtime. I didn't get much of a story, but
that was it. So
yeah, he said that all he had to tell me was that he won. He scored the winning touchdown. That's all he had to tell me.
Now, is he a running back like you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you are the all-time leading rusher in the history of Seckman High School. Is he challenging your records, or are you safe?
I think I'm safe.
Okay.
I'd like to think so, at least.
All right, tell me what you remember about your playoff win over St. Louis U-High, where you scored 7 touchdowns. You personally, not the team, you scored 7 touchdowns.
I mean, it was a gritty game. I think I got the ball 52 times, so it was a lot of me running.
Is that as sore as you've ever been on a Saturday after that football game, or no?
I think so, yeah. I don't think I've ever touched the ball more than 35 times a game, so 52 carries was pretty insane.
35 is still pretty insane. Maybe not as much at the high school level if you have a terrific running back, but it's 323 yards against the Junior Bills. Name your highlights of your days at Seckman. Is that's got to be near the top of the list? That was a playoff game.
I think that is number one because I believe we were playing a 5-star Ryan Wingo, and he's at Texas now.
Yeah.
So beating him was
Saw
pretty
him
cool.
in the Ohio State game. I saw him drop a pass in that game, by the way.
Oh. Boo.
So that one, give me some other highlights.
My sophomore year, we played Park Hill Central, and I think I ran for 410 yards and 6 touchdowns, somewhere around there. I think that was honestly the best game I ever played at Seckman. So
400 yards. So I mentioned the fact that you had 20 touchdowns of 40 or more yards. Some guys have an extra ability and a gear plus vision, and according to Coach Tuke, the ability to change directions and cut at full speed. Have you always been able to do that?
I think so. Honestly, I think I just go out there and don't think much. I just do. And I think that's always been a big part of my game, is just run fast and score touchdowns.
Now, when you say I try not to think, there are a lot of things you do have to think about in a Division I collegiate offense, and now you're learning a new offense. I'm sure there are probably similar principles in some things that you do, but how much of a jump up is it in terms of just film study and studying the playbook from Seckman High School to playing Division I FCS football?
Yeah, Seckman, you didn't really have to study much. It's either run right or run left. But coming to SEMO, learning like an inside zone offense, I've never really gotten a handoff before. The snap has always just came to me, a direct snap. But I'd say the film probably helped me the most, because honestly in high school I didn't watch much film. We had team film studies, but it was about for 10 minutes, and it was really just what our game plan was. Are we going to run the ball outside? Are we going to run the ball inside?
So you're saying they lined you up at quarterback your whole career?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
So how often did you throw the ball?
I think I averaged 4 throws a game, not much, but when they needed me to throw the ball, I did. Anthony Westervelt was actually my wide receiver, so he'd get the ball 98% of the time.
And he's a big guy, too. And I would think if you run an offense like that, play action, it could be devastating for a defense, because they've got, if you're running the ball most of the time, they've got to respect any sort of play action at all, or just knowing, hey, the chances of him throwing the ball are very, very slim.
Oh, yeah. It helped having 8 lead blockers outside, though, so it was hard to stop.
All right. How about the nutrition and the weight room and the commitment to those two things when you move from high school to college football?
Yeah, I'd say, honestly, the weight room was the biggest transition for me. I wasn't, big when I got here. I think I weighed 180 pounds. I wrestled at 190. But I'd say getting to 200 pounds was probably the biggest struggle for me, because I've never been good at gaining weight. I've always cut weight for wrestling, so I think that was the biggest change for me, was just staying in the weight room, eating the right food, and just getting my weight up and everything.
Boy, it's a complete opposite if you're a wrestler.
Absolutely.
If you're cutting weight versus, all of a sudden they want me to put on weight.
Yeah, it was a big change, but I got used to it.
How difficult is cutting weight? Because we don't just see it in wrestling. You're talking about UFC fighters have to make weight, boxers, big boxing match on Saturday night between Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford. These guys, cutting weight, and sometimes you got to cut a lot of weight, because some of these guys walk around at a completely different weight every day until they go into training.
Well, for me, I wasn't too good at cutting weight. I'd always wait till the last 2 days to cut all my weight, because I loved eating food. So, but for me,
so you're in heaven now.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
Eat whatever you want.
Yeah, I'd eat all day. It doesn't even matter anymore. But no, it's rough, just because energy levels are low. You're sitting in the sauna for a certain amount of time, or just you're in a bunch of clothes for wrestling practice or whatever you have to do, and it's a struggle for sure. I feel bad for my little brother.
He's a wrestler too?
Yeah, he loves wrestling.
All right, who wins in a wrestling match between you two? You probably only wrestled about 98,000 times.
I'm taking me every time.
All right.
There's no question there.
All right. Vision Quest. Have you seen that movie?
I have, yes.
What do you think of Vision Quest?
It's probably honestly one of my favorite wrestling movies, actually. I think that was the first wrestling movie I've ever watched, was with my dad. So, actually my old wrestling coach in Little League, that's he based his practices off Vision Quest. So they're pretty rough.
And for those who kids, you can Google it, but it's a movie from the '80s with Matthew Modine, and it is a fabulous movie. You ever heard the Madonna song "Crazy for You"? That is from the movie Vision Quest. All right, it was another long run for you on Saturday, 51 yards. Now they caught you at the end. Did anybody give you a hard time about them tracking you down there at the end of that run?
All the running backs, Coach Brister, they all gave me a hard time. But I just told them, well, I was running as fast as I could. That guy was fast. He had a good angle on me, but.
How quickly do you know when you take a handoff? Like you had the 65-yard run where they didn't catch you last year against Gardner-Webb where you scored a touchdown. How quickly do you know, man, this is going to be a big run?
I knew that as soon as I got the ball. The gap, you could fit a semi-truck into it. So I knew that right away. There was no question I wasn't going there. So
how about the talent in this running back room? I mean, Brandon Epton, this guy that played at SMU. That's a program that was in the college football playoff last year, and now he is in his final season as a college running back. And Peyton Brown, I'm sure you knew all about him. He's up in your neck of the woods, playing at Hillsborough High School. He's in his second season. You're a veteran in that running back room. How about the talent you guys have in that room?
Oh, it's awesome. I think it makes us all a lot better just because we're all competing. And like you said, Brandon Epton, he's very explosive, very fast. He's taught me a lot coming here, being a running back. So. And then Peyton Brown, he's big, he's physical, hard to stop. I'd hate to tackle him if I was a linebacker, but I think we all just make each other better and just go day by day with it. Really, it's tough sometimes though, because you really want to be out there and play, but you can't do anything but respect the guy playing.
So I got to ask you this: now that I know that you used to take direct snaps, how much of a transition was it to be involved in the passing game? Because you're not passing the ball to yourself at Seckman High School. All of a sudden, you've got to develop skills as a pass catcher. How about that?
I think I developed it pretty quickly. We had some plays at Seckman where it was a double pass to me, so I had some experience there, but I don't think it was too bad. Definitely not running before I catch the ball. That was probably the biggest part that I had a problem with, just because I wanted to get the ball quick and go. But I learned you just got to stay patient when the ball's coming to you and do what you do when you get it.
All right, now I see you've got a tattoo on your right forearm. Do you have any leg tattoo, any thigh tattoos?
I do not. I actually heard Coach Duke hates those, so that's why I haven't got one.
That's probably a good call. Who's got, if you're ranking maybe top one or two, best tattoos on the roster? And you can include yourself. That's a pretty good looking rose you got there.
I don't think it's me. Man, that's hard.
I got to think that ink is a topic of conversation at some point. Guys got their shirts off in the locker room.
Yeah, Angel Munoz, he's got some pretty cool tattoos. I'll give him that. I think he's tattooed himself a couple times. So.
Well, you guys have a nice topic of conversation. You're both high school quarterbacks, right? He was a quarterback in high school.
Was he?
Yeah.
I thought he was a running back.
There you go. See,
right,
now you get an opportunity.
Even better.
Get an opportunity to talk to Angel. So how about a 6'8" quarterback? When the first time you saw Leatherwood and then saw him on the practice field, what were your thoughts?
First thing I thought was, well, I'm 5'10", so he looks like a giant to me. I think I'm up to his belly button, honestly, but no. He's a great athlete, good quarterback, good leader. He's young, but I think he's doing just fine right now. I think he'll be all right.
All right, North Dakota State, the reigning national champs. What are your thoughts on hopping on a plane here at Cape Regional Airport on Friday and flying out to Fargo to play the Bison?
I'm excited. I think we're all excited. Coach Duke told us the other day, who else is playing the #1 team in the country next week, or this week. Who's got it better than us? I think we have something to prove. We're new people on the roster, and I think that this could be a breakout game for us. New starters, new people can prove something. I think it's going to be a good one.
So football coaches love wrestlers. They just do. What is it about being a wrestler that gives you a big advantage in football? And I've got to think it starts with knowing all about leverage.
I think that's it. And honestly, it's a big thing about just having a good mentality, never backing down, just being gritty. Wrestling's a hard sport. It's tough on everyone. So I think translating that to football makes it a lot easier, just with tough practices, tough games, tough situations. I think it helps in everything, really.
So that scene in Vision Quest where he's doing the pegboard and he's climbing the peg. Do you have have you done the pegboard? Could you do the pegboard? That's unbelievable. The strength involved in doing a pegboard just seems to blow my mind.
I've never tried it, but I'd like to give it a shot. I think I could get a couple up there.
Bring me a pegboard is what Cole Ruble's saying. Who's Seckman got this week?
I'm not sure, actually.
All right, you need to text your brother and find out what's going on with the Jags.
I will.
All right, we will see you Friday at the airport as we get ready to head to North Dakota State. Continued health and success, and we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
All right, that's Cole Ruble. Coach Duke going to rejoin us. Let's talk about the team the Redhawks are playing, the Big Bad Bison of North Dakota State. Coach Duke rejoins us when we come back. We're at Wings, etc. in Cape. It's the Redhawks Coaches Show on SEMO ESPN.
As a business owner, have you ever wondered how to show up on someone's stream of their favorite show? Want to throw a net over the competition and catch relevant potential customers? Let us help. We're creative, ruthlessly efficient, and ready to set up your advertising game with digital options. Don't be scared of the future. Embrace it and use it to your advantage. Visit maxdigitaladvertising.com and get in touch with Tommy, a local rep ready to make a connection to help your business grow. That's maxdigitaladvertising.com. Let Max Digital maximize your advertising dollar with digital.
Welcome back. Redhawks Coaches Show from Wings, etc. And if you don't have that Wings, etc. loyalty app, it'll take you just a couple of minutes to download it, set up the account for Wings, etc., and you can start earning points on all of your Wings, etc. food and beverage purchases, whether you're here or whether you'd like to get your food delivered. It is the Wings, etc. loyalty app, and we're going to be at the Wings, etc. Look, they've got 3 locations: Dexter, Cape Girardeau, and Jackson, and we'll be in the Jackson location next week after the Redhawks travel to North Dakota State. We're rejoined by head coach Tom Matukowicz and Cole Ruble, letting everybody know he is not into the thigh tattoos. I think you sent a message there with that commentary on thigh tattoos.
Well, you're welcome. And you can thank me later by raising a son that doesn't get a thigh tattoo.
Boy, you're not kidding. All right, this is a North Dakota State team, Coach. I believe last year they were 3rd in the nation in points, in scoring offense. The team they played in the national championship game was Montana State, and they outlasted Montana State. Since 2011, they have now won 10 national championships, and they've done it with different head coaches. Their head coach is second-year man Tim Polasek. Are you familiar with Polasek? Polasek. Okay, yeah. There we go. I'm glad. Now I know.
Yeah, he actually called me and recommended Ryan Napoli. So Ryan Napoli was my strength coach, Coach Knapp, for several years from the Bison, and he was one of the guys that kind of got him through the door. Then we interviewed him. But other than that, I haven't had a lot of experience with him.
And Coach Knapp is still there. We'll see Coach Knapp.
Yep, we'll see Coach Knapp, and he'll probably be doing some curls right before the game, get his arms looking good. Then put some mousse in his hair so make sure everybody's looking at him.
I knew you'd come strong at Coach Knapp. Here's the thing that I think is interesting. Now, you and I were talking before the show about the way that they've expanded scholarship numbers in FCS football. It's amazing to me, North Dakota State, all the guys that stay with their program. Going into our game on Saturday, they have 14 players that have played at least 30 college football games. 30 college football games. They have 19 players on their roster who have at least played in 25 college football games. They've got a wide receiver that has played in 64 games. And, I mean, they're able to keep a lot of these guys around. Like their starting quarterback, Cole Payton, has played in 40 games, all at North Dakota State, but his only 2 starts have been the last 2 games, but he has hung around and stayed with this program. So he's got lots of experience, only 2 starts. They're able to keep guys.
Yeah, I think 2 things with that. I think they keep guys because they're recruiting the right type of people. They recruit guys that are Bison, that love the program, that are a good fit culturally. So when they become good players, they have the resources now to try and keep them. The way the NCAA rules are now is if you have the resources, you can really separate yourself. So I have 59 full scholarships. That's what I have.
That's 4 less than you were allowed under the old system.
You're allowed to have. But now you can have 105. And so I know North Dakota State signed 30 freshmen. Like if you don't sign 30 freshmen unless you have like 110, 105 full rides. And so I think they're going to be deeper than a lot of teams because they're able to recruit like that. And so that's the reason we want to play them. We want to know what their model is, how it works for them. That doesn't mean it'll work for us, but I'd like to see if there are some things we can learn from them.
Well, just the fact that they can afford to pay another FCS school $265,000 is what the paycheck is going to, and they're paying for the buses when you get there, but $265,000 to play another FCS to come to the Fargo Dome would tell me they're probably close to funding those 105 scholarships.
Yeah. I mean, I think they are the school up there, and so they have a lot of those resources. They've been winning, great crowds, And so they have that, and so hopefully we can run their. I'm sure they're going to put a banner up for the national championship and all that stuff. So I know they're Under Armour's going to be there. They're going to be in a whiteout. They're introducing a new uniform and all these type of things. So hopefully we can play spoiler to all that.
That would be fun. You look at what they're doing on offense, Coach, and the first thing they want to do, I know you probably like the philosophy, they want to run over you. This is a power football team. I mean, they scored 38 points a game last year. They can throw the ball. This guy that you'll see, Cole Payton, he hasn't thrown it a lot in his career. I think, he hadn't completed a ton of passes, but a lot of the games that he played in were mop-up games where they had big leads, and they benched the starting quarterback to try to get him out of there. But this is a guy that was a Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Nebraska, won a state championship, has bided his time to be their starting quarterback, but and he can really run the ball. He's listed at 6'3", 233. So there's a quarterback that can run over you, but that's what they want to do first, right, Coach, is run over you.
Yeah, I think that's why they've been so consistent, because the one thing that running the football gives you is consistency. You're never really behind the chains, all these things. You're in good situations always to take shots and those type of things. And so they've only had 1 4th and 1 this year. And that's how good they are on first and second down. I mean, they're really operating at a high level. They haven't been in a game yet. And so hopefully we can make it a fourth quarter game. But it's going to be, we got to be able to limit the run game. You're not going to stop it. I mean, they're too good to stop. But you got to limit it. If they get behind a change, you got to get off the field. We can't turn it over. Hopefully we can turn them over. Just those things that, keep it close and see if we can make some plays in the fourth quarter.
How about their running back? It is Barika Penu. He's a fifth-year senior from West Fargo, North Dakota, and it's 36 career games. Last year it was 17 rushing touchdowns. And rushed for touchdown this year, but 17. He led the nation in rushing touchdowns, and that's the guy you're going to see. He's 5'10", 213.
Yeah, he's a great back. I think what makes him dangerous is his vision. Obviously he has the size and athleticism and the speed, but most backs do, right? But his vision is pretty impressive. If all of a sudden you overplay and you try to do somebody else's job and all that, he'll see it and he'll make you pay. He's got great vision to see almost the whole field.
And one of their top receivers, Bryce Lance, I think people remember Trey Lance, who led them to a national championship in football in 2019, was a number 3 pick in the NFL. Went to San Francisco, Dallas. I think he's with the Chargers now. So his brother plays on the team, and there's another brother connection. Peyton Brown, your running back, his brother from Hillsborough High School is a freshman or maybe he's a sophomore
True freshman quarterback.
Okay, true freshman quarterback at North Dakota State. So Peyton Brown's got family in the house.
I know. Yeah, it's interesting how all of that works, and great parents. The Browns do a great job, and to have two sons playing in that game, I'm sure it's going to be a special moment for that family, and sure they'll get pictures and all those type of things. So there's lots to be excited about.
And it's even though you're flying, this is not a massive undertaking. It's a 2-hour flight, according to the research I did. I mean, it's just a 2-hour flight from Cape to Fargo. You fly right in there.
Yep. It'll be up and down. I think it's a 3:30 kick, so really a pretty manageable, all the things. But I do think this will be our first road trip of the season. I think it's easy to get caught up in it, but this is a business trip. You know what I mean? And so we have a lot of new players, a lot of young players. So I think how we handle a road trip is still important, that I got to do a good job with this week. And we going to do a good job just having the right mindset of keeping the focus. We're going to go visit the Dome Friday night because I want them to get, they're going to want to take pictures and they're going to want to do all those things. I want it done Friday. So when they show up Saturday, the only thing they're thinking about is their job and getting their mindset ready to compete for each other.
My partner, the late Jess Bolin, who coached for over 50 years, used to have a saying, you're going to respect what North Dakota State is and what they've done and all of those things. But he would always say, too much respect leads to fear. You can respect your opponent, but if you respect him too much, sometimes that can lead to fear.
Yeah.
Buy into that?
Yeah, I think that's just human nature. I do think confidence is important, but confidence is funny, right? It's like, hey, a guy is way overweight, drops 10 pounds, he's out there in a Speedo. That's delusion. Right, and so it's a fine line, and what we need to believe in is our preparation. I think everybody believes we have enough talent. Now, let's prove it to ourselves that we can go be successful by having a great Tuesday practice. And, when we're not in the facility, all the choices that we are making all align to give us the best opportunity to win on Saturday. I think that's the real confidence is in our preparation.
What is going to be the biggest thing when you get on the field that you're going to have to, or things that you're going to have to accomplish to be competitive in a winnable football game in the fourth quarter on Saturday?
I think we just need to play smarter. This team's good enough that they will capitalize on every mistake. I mean, if you have a penalty, they're going to capitalize it. If you don't block somebody, he's going to capitalize. I mean, everything is just that tight, and so we need to play a really clean game to make this a fourth quarter game.
All right, it's going to be a 2:30 kickoff on Saturday afternoon in Fargo. Plane wheels up on Friday. We will see you then, Coach. Thanks so much for your time.
Sounds good.
All right, that's Coach Tuke. By the way, his 64th career victory against North Alabama on Saturday. 2:30 kickoff, and we will talk to you then. Thanks to Cole Ruble for his time, and I want to thank Tommy and Rachel and Dylan for all of their help here with River Radio. We'll get you back to regular programming here on ESPN. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Monday, everybody. We'll be in Jackson at Wings location, or at the Wings Etc. location next week. We'll talk to you then. So long.